Zoom is still loading. Can you hear us? You should be able to hear us now. Can you hear us? Are we live? Are we good? Should be able to hear us. Should be able to hear us. Yes, we have audio. We have audio. All right. There we go. All right. Welcome to Help and Holler Live. My name is Jesse. I am so excited that you guys are here with us today because this is a very special episode. Despite our technical difficulties and the Zoom going off, we hit 10,000 subscribers on our channel. And that is thanks to you guys. Everybody that shared the channel, everybody that told friends about it, everybody that put it on their pages, everybody that got everybody to subscribe. We are so thankful that you guys did that. You guys got us to 10,000 subscribers and beyond. Are you not excited, Joseph?
Very excited.
Very excited. Yes. So we're so glad to have you guys here with us today. We have had a busy couple of weeks. Things have just been kind of exploding around here and out in the woods. So it's awesome to be able to do the show with you guys today and talk about all of that. So we're going to go through the chat right here and see who is present and accounted for. Thank you, Martin Groves. Thank you so much. 10,000 is just the beginning. We are just getting started here. And it's just going to grow from here. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys and your support. And you guys sharing everything, making sure you're subscribed and commenting and everything. It takes a village. It takes a village. Little Helmet Holler village.
Things are changing though now. We're not some little podunk YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
Things are going to change.
Okay. What kind of changes are going into effect?
People in the chat, no eye contact anymore. Eyes down.
Wait.
Don't make eye contact with me.
They're not supposed to watch the show?
They look down. They just don't make eye contact. They look around. They just don't look at me. No eye contact.
Okay. All right. Can I make eye contact with you?
Nope. No eye contact at all.
Okay. None at all.
Nope.
Great.
No more of this insolence that I've had to endure over the past 9,999 subscribers.
Those
days are gone.
I did turn the Zoom on. I'll have you know. I actually did a test. So don't huff and puff at me. He's gonna be salty for the whole show because the Zoom was off.
The whole show.
Anyway, yeah. So we're
stoked. We probably lost 1,000 subscribers right there with just that screw up. So thanks, 10,000. It was fun while it lasted. Thanks, Barton.
Thank you, Barton. Thank you, Barton. That was awesome. Yeah, so we've had a pretty wild week. I had a pretty great day. Went to the gym and I had a really cool conference call meeting that I think looks pretty good for Help and Holler and the future of Help and Holler.
Yeah.
So things are looking good. I'm really excited about this. We have a new video coming out Wednesday. It will be the follow-up to the video that I released this past Wednesday. We'll get into that right now. So this past Wednesday, we released our second installment in the Dark Corner series. It was a daytime investigation. I know most of you have seen that video by now because I have seen all of your comments. And you guys are really excited about that video. We kind of departed from what we usually do. I post, what's that?
Are you going to start asking for bowls of only green M&Ms now?
I literally
we made that joke earlier today. So yes.
I literally said that joke to Joe earlier about something else. So
when she had her meeting, her what was that, a Zoom call or whatever meeting, whatever.
Double secret
thing. But I just literally went, you need somebody to make sure that you're not getting some janky ass bowl of M&Ms. And she's like, only green M&Ms, only green. So
that's because the green one's the sexy M&M.
That's what Prince was on.
Yeah.
Prince had those big bowls of green M&Ms.
He only liked the sexy M&M. So yeah, we released Dark Corner, the second installment of the Dark Corner series. Now we're doing that up in the upstate of South Carolina in an area called the Dark Corner. It's near the Sumter National Forest, and it's a really creepy area. The first episode that we did from that series, we were in that area, but a couple miles away. And that was us just kind of reintroducing ourselves to the area and getting back into the swing of things out there. On Wednesday, I released Old roads to new discoveries. It was a daytime investigation video. We normally don't release a video of just daytime investigations. We normally have a kind of a formula, I guess, where we have the scouting during the day and then we go into our night investigation, and that's the whole of the video. But so many things happened on that expedition out there, on that investigation during the day, that we really had to basically break it up into two parts.
Yeah, there's a whole, as much as it seems like the case, we don't usually just jump into the woods and start running around like idiots in the dark, although that's what it seems like sometimes when you watch our videos. There's a whole set of scouting and exploration and things that we're checking and all that, and then we just try to put the fun stuff out, the stuff that's interesting to people.
Yeah.
You don't really want us like looking at maps and taking like baseline readings and doing the boring kind of like prep work stuff. It's important. It's just not, I mean, I don't want to sit and watch it, you know? So, but this time there was just so much cool stuff that kind of set the stage for the night investigation that we went ahead and just, she did a good old fashioned cliffhanger.
A good old fashioned cliffhanger.
Good old fashioned cliffhanger.
Yeah. So the video we have coming out on Wednesday is pretty freaking wild. It is the night investigation that followed that really crazy day. So that thing is going to be, you guys are going to lose your minds, because I was going, I'm working on the edit right now on it. And Joe and I pretty much just, we had to, I don't even want to like do any spoilers, but it's wild. It's wild. It's definitely worthy of that day investigation. It is definitely a kind of a payoff there at that at night there. That's such a wild area that we're going to, that after that night investigation, Joe is kind of on the fence about us going back for another night without being there for several days and investigating it more thoroughly during the daytime. But that daytime investigation I thought was pretty interesting, because you got to see kind of how we go through and do our day stuff, where we hike through the area, wander around, really look at the soil, the rocks, the trees, just really get an assessment of the environment and really scout around. What we usually do is we'll hike through an area, we'll do some distance, check it out, come back, and then do it all over again at night and really just go over it again. But at least we have some idea of what the trail is like, what the forest is like, what the baseline sounds, smells, and everything is in that particular area. So we always do those daytime scouting missions. We also see if there's anything dangerous in our path or on our route along the way, because if you just go blindly into the woods at night, you're just begging for trouble. You're begging for something to go awry, and it's always just best to prepare yourself before you go out in the woods. I hate for Joe to fall off a ravine in the middle of the night. Even though I do have a good life insurance policy on Joe, I would prefer to keep him around for
just for a little while.
Just for a little while.
Right.
So it was really nice to be able to share that in a more long form way with y'all. And what about those footprints? I know that first one we found was pretty eroded. You couldn't really see the toe marks quite as pronounced.
Trust me, we got all of the comments of people going, this is all BS. Why do people only just find one footprint? One dude wrote like 6-paragraph comment about he was personally offended that we just had one really good print. Well, we found other prints there, that most of that soil through there it's a mixture of like rock hard and then kind of softer.
Yeah.
So we found some stuff in some of the softer dirt that you could tell it looked like a print, but then there'd been rain through there and it eroded away. The one we found that was really good, I'm assuming that whatever this thing was, stepped in an area that didn't have a lot of rocks in it, mostly red clay mud, and that red clay mud was probably soaked.
Yeah.
And it went down deep at that point. And there was a root that stretched across it. And I'm looking at it going, how did it do that? And just the root is stretching across it. And as soon as we touched the root, we realized the root had broken on one end.
So it wasn't attached to anything. I actually pulled it off.
When we pulled it, that's how that rock kind of dumped into the bottom of it. We just didn't want to mess with it too much because we were afraid it was going to like crumble. And then we're like going, this thing's like rock hard, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but we found several what appeared to be prints that had eroded in softer soil. And then we found the really good one that was, and somebody had said it looked like 4 toes. To me, it looked like the pinky toe had been kind of pushed in a little bit.
Yeah.
As it kind of went down in. The big
Instead of
toe
like
did
a
not.
splayed,
The
it
big
kinda
toe
came
just
in.
pushed down in on it.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing with, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar, anybody that's been to the upstate of South Carolina in the woods, or anybody that's been to Georgia, like the North Georgia area, red clay mud is what we have around that area. And it is solid as a rock. In my video, I knocked on it. Joe had me like knock it again. That is some solid stuff. So it's hard to get footprints in soil like that, material like that, unless it is absolutely soaked. And luck have it, we've had some soaking rains come through here over the past few weeks. So it was actually serendipitous that we went out there after a good storm came through a few days earlier, and it was soft enough for whatever that was to pass through the area and actually create that footprint. All the other prints that we saw along the way were basically divots at that point.
Yeah.
They weren't as pronounced, they weren't as clear. I don't want to waste your time with little divots, because then that wastes my time having to read 500 comments about how that's a stupid little divot and not a footprint.
So,
yeah.
Ryan Holloway wanted to know that rock that was etched half circle or something. Did you ever figure out anything about it? Nope. We never did. Never did. So there's a paved road that leads to a gravel forestry road. And then that gravel forestry road leads to a really non-maintained forestry road. And then that leads to a couple of barriers. You got to get over those barriers. And then there's another section that looks like it was maintained once upon a time, because there's a little gravel still there. And then you start getting up into those roads that you saw that are just deeply cut into the side of the mountain. I mean, at some point, I can't see over the either side of that road. They're just too high. So we found you found that old horseshoe up there. I don't know. We've found what looks like milled stone up there, smaller pieces. So I don't know, but I don't have an answer for that little section that looks like it was worn down into a little semicircle. So as of right now, could be nothing. It was just weird, but still no idea on it. So.
Over the years of us doing this and going into these areas, we have found a lot of similarities between this area and other areas we've been in, where there have been old abandoned settlements. And I know we talk about that in our videos a good bit, that off of these old roads that are grown up, and a lot of them are just completely forgotten at this point. That one was actually passable. Some of them we go up and down the sides of mountains and they're barely passable. We can just kind of fight our way up and down. But we have actually discovered old foundations of homes, old chimneys that nobody really knows about. There's one that's really far back in the woods, probably 8 or 9 miles away from where we've been going to for these videos. That I'm pretty sure that we're the first people to see that in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, there's nothing recreational up there. There's no campgrounds, there's no hiking trails, there's no waterfalls, there's no reason. I mean, you can't swear that people didn't get up there. There's just really no reason for anybody to go up there. And you would think that hiking along those old road beds would be, I mean, they're level. There's not a lot of trees or anything like that growing in them, but there's tons of loose rock. There's tree branches. We've both taken falls up there so far, especially moving around at night. It's not pleasant at all to move through. Quite honestly, it kind of sucks to try to navigate through at night. North Georgia, even though it's more overgrown, is so much easier to move through.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in that pine forest where we were getting a lot of that occult activity. That pine forest was amazing compared to what we're dealing with a lot of this.
Yeah.
This is just thick undergrowth, and those pine forests have nothing. It's wonderful. We can run around, we can see really far.
But this is really difficult to maneuver through, especially at night when you were trying to run equipment, you're trying to run night vision, thermal, you're trying to keep light, some light discipline. We do use white light pretty frequently, I think, in the video that you're going to release now.
We started out wanting to do red light because a lot of times we'll use red light to kind of preserve our night vision, because the white light kind of
kills your night vision. And
kills your night vision.
We don't think we're sneaking up on anything in there. I mean, everybody's always like, oh, you guys are making too much noise. you're not going to sneak up on it. No, we don't expect to sneak up on anything, man. I mean, we have no illusions of being able to sneak up on these creatures. Your best bet is to make them curious and not kill your own night vision in the process. So, but those delusions went away pretty quickly when we started just biting it every 5 minutes and just taking tumbles, just because it's so difficult. I mean, there's like softball sized rocks everywhere that are just loose, just laying there on the ground. And it's overgrown. You can't see where you're stepping at half the time.
What's weird is it seemed like when we were going up the path, and I know we're kind of getting into the night stuff here with this discussion. We'll talk about that more after the video releases and you guys can view it and kind of see what you think. But it seems like, I'm not doing any spoilers here, but it seems like when we went back and we're out there at night, there was more limbs and stuff in the path. Yeah. It seems like I tripped over a limb at one point and just went down. I ate it hard. We talked about that last week, but I tripped real bad. And it seems like there's just more limbs in the way there. And there's definitely more stone.
Some of this stuff kind of ties in these questions that we're getting up to the investigation that you're getting ready to put up, the night portion of it. What do you mean when y'all say the woods feel heavy? We have gone into like really creepy scenarios before. You ought to put that fog footage up sometime. We went into an old mountain cemetery that's been abandoned for 100 years. And we went in on foot at night because the roads that led to it once upon a time are all like gone. And it was the literal heaviest fog we've ever seen in our entire lives. We had to use the red flashlights then because the white flashlights were bouncing back so much off the fog. It was like soup. It was crazy. The red lights penetrated through it a little bit better. So we were using that. And you would think that would have been a very scary experience. Everything felt fine. Even though the fog was heavy, the rest of it felt normal. Yeah. It was actually a pretty fun night in the woods. Nothing weird happened, but it was actually a pretty enjoyable, cool night in the woods for it. You would think that would feel weird. It didn't at all. But yet we're in other forests sometimes, we're in other areas, and the air just feels oppressive. Is that a good word for it?
Oppressive? I think it's basically your intuition that something is off. That's why, and Joe gets it. I don't get this as much as Joe does, but when it's almost like if something is watching us or something is going on, the hair on his arms will stand up.
Well, I've had that a lot in this area that we're currently looking into right
now. But
it's
basically you've evolved this way. It's how you've kept, it's how human beings have stayed alive.
And I'm sure if you took different people out there, they'd give you different reasons. Maybe you feel like being watched. You feel like something's close. You feel like something's getting ready to happen. It just feels
it's that
heavy.
Woman
There's
in
a heavy oppressive feeling that you're feeling.
It's that woman in a dark alley feeling is what it's sometimes referred to as.
So it's very, very weird. And then Terry Marshall wants to know if you kept the horseshoe. Yes, she's a magpie.
I am a magpie. Yes. Anything like that I find, I do bring home and I put on my altar here at home. So, but yes, I did keep it. I don't know if that's my gift. I think it was. I'm not sure. We're of course going back out there, so we'll see if anything changes from there. But was it Take Two Wheels that suggested it was about the horse thing? The fear of horses?
No, that was that was either Take Two Wheels or What the Flock suggested that when she asked for a gift, somebody went, the horseshoe was a gift, and it's trying to tell you not to be so afraid of horses. And I'm just going, part of what we asked for was that we'll know it's a gift. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we were both kind of just going, not too sure about this.
It was crazy that's like where I sat down and then I just look over and I was like, well, that's not a rock. And I like tapped on it and I was like, oh, that's metal. Okay.
Relax, Bad Need Adventures. Do you have guns with you for protection in the forest? Yes.
Yes, of course.
And I'm not very comfortable in the area that we're currently investigating. I was talking to Barton Nunley, if he's still on here, earlier today, and I was just like, I'm very uncomfortable in there, And yes, we carry guns in there. About ready to carry more guns if we keep going back into this spot. It's not a very comforting place. And what's weird is we've always been real honest about this, that up until this point, we've really not really had a lot of what we thought was like Sasquatch. Like activity or interactions. We found one really good Sasquatch print before this, and that was in an area where the activity just stopped. In the other places that we're at, we've always told people, I don't think it's Sasquatch up there that we're dealing with. And that area where we're finding little footprints, I don't think those are juvenile Sasquatch. I think that's something that ties in with like the Cherokee little people. Other areas, there's been stereotypical like Dogman activity, but we've never really been in an area that we've looked at each other and just said, it feels like there's Sasquatch here. It does in this spot, and it's like scarier than hell. I mean, it's literally scarier than hell. It's Barton Unling for years has been going that, you know, the Dogman is one thing, but the Sasquatch is like 10 times more terrifying. And this little area that we've dipped our toes in so far, it's a very off-putting spot, to be honest with you. That's one of the few spots where I've like kind of gone, I don't know if I want to come back here or not anymore. It's a little rough. So
M says that's the feeling he gets when one of his ex-wives.
Got to bring up the ex-wives, 10K. So real quick, let me do a couple of housekeeping. Bada Bing, did you see the pictures I posted to the Facebook page of what I saw and thought could possibly be eyes coming out from behind a tree? Did you post that to the Facebook page or did you email us those? If it's the thermal image you're talking about, yes. If it's something else, maybe re-message us on that.
Yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the Dogman Triangle documentary? Thank you for getting us together. That's the gentleman we sent to Aaron. I'm not going to mention his real name on here, but Aaron Dees and I'm on the documentary towards the end of the video. We have not had a chance to watch that yet.
Yeah, we haven't had time to watch that yet. We've really just been hitting it so hard here. But we're gonna actually sit down and watch it. We actually watched something. I don't think I saw it a long time ago. We actually watched the Mothman prophecies. It was with Richard Gere. It was amazing. Yeah. It was so good because I've been listening to episodes of Art Bell, like old episodes of Art Bell in the morning when I have my coffee, and I listened to John Keel on Art Bell, and it was just fantastic. So we had to watch Mothman prophecies, but we will watch that coming up for sure.
Anu says, it would seem winter is a better time to investigate for obvious reasons. It is a much better time to investigate for a multitude of reasons. And again, like we've said, normally we take this time of the year off just because it's god awful being out there. When it's like over 100 degrees at night and the air is not moving and it's insane humidity and you've got to carry all this stuff. But right now, we'll have months where like nothing happens. Well, we'll go out in the woods and nothing strange happens at all. And people will contact us going, hey, I've got this stuff going on at my property. And we go there, ain't nothing going on. Right now there's stuff happening in multiple locations and we're trying to bounce back and forth between these locations because it just seems like things have heated up in more ways than one. Okay. And it's not pleasant to do it right now. And it's quite honestly, it's dragging us down a bit, but it's you got to go to where the stuff's happening.
But we can't just abandon this after, all the stuff that we've experienced and all the stuff that we've actually captured on video in the past couple of weeks. We can't abandon the spot. It's just, things are just too crazy up there that despite the fact that it is physically killing us, we're going to keep hammering at it. It's
and we're guzzling water. We're doing like liquid IVs, but
So
it's not just the hiking portion of it because we move around a lot. It's what you're moving over. And it's just all these loose rocks. And it's a really unpleasant environment to try to move through during the daytime, let alone at night. It's just not fun.
In reference to our video that we put out on Wednesday, a few people were asking why we didn't cast those footprints. We don't cast footprints. Number one, in terms of like practicality's sake, we barely had enough water for us to drink out there.
Yeah, we were having to constantly leave and go into areas with like streams to filter more water.
Yeah, we were filtering water to drink because it was so hot out there. It's insanely hot out there in the woods. We're not carrying an extra gallon of water and then 10 pounds of casting material on top of everything else we have to carry.
And like, again, we're 8 miles from the vehicle at that point.
Yeah.
And so we've got to do it, set it, and then ruck it back to the vehicle without it breaking. And here's the other thing. I stand by this. Even if it was 10 feet away from the car and we had 100 gallons of water in the car, I don't really care to cast footprints.
Yeah.
I think that there's enough thousands of cast footprints out there that one more is not going to move the needle one way or the other.
No.
Okay. We've all seen great cast footprints. We've all seen some that are kind of dubious and you're not sure. We'll take photos of them, but at the same token, I just don't care. I just don't care about casting footprints. I just don't care. I would rather carry something else for that weight on our back, like all day long. Lighthouse wanted to know if y'all ever thought of doing an overnight tent camping investigation. We're out overnight. Most of these, we just don't sleep. We're out moving around.
And there is no way, I got to tell you something. There is no freaking way I'm going to set up a tent, get inside of it, and sleep in these areas. I'm just not going to do it. We're out there. We're awake. We're going to be awake. We're going to walk around. We're going to investigate. We've mentioned before that our investigations are always kinetic. We have a lot of activity when we're hiking around. So we're out there overnight. It's just we hike around all night. There's no way I'm going to set up a tent, sit by my tent, or go inside my tent and sleep because I know these things are out there and I don't think they're friendly. So I don't really have an interest in sleeping, being a human burrito out there.
Arcane Discovery said he went to Westminster today and talked to a guy, said the BFRO was going to be doing something in that area soon. The BFRO usually goes up around Caesar's Head, right? For those paid expeditions, they ain't getting into where we're getting into. You know what I'm saying? We can barely do it, and we do this stuff like all the time. They're not going to take people that are paying $500 and go, all right, guys, you're hiking 10 miles one way, over all of this terrain. It's just not going to happen. They usually go into like more easily accessible areas just because when you have a group that big, you're limited by the
slowest person
there, the least mobile person there. So they're not going to get into where we're at this point. I'd be real surprised.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you have to kind of be conditioned up to do this work. And we've been trying to condition ourselves. Joe and I are fairly physically fit, but it's still just beating the hell out of us right now.
It's rough, man. I mean, it's rough.
Between the heat and the terrain, it is beating the heck out of us. And I think that's a kind of a barrier of entry for a lot of people that they may have mobility issues, that they can't go into these areas to do the kind of work that we do. But that's also why we film it the way we do and we share it with you guys. I think it was when we first started out, a gentleman got in touch with us and he was disabled. He was in a wheelchair, so he couldn't go out and hike these areas, but he loved watching our videos because it felt like he was just along the hike with us. And that really stuck with me. And so that's why we try to film our videos like we do and really bring everybody out there. So we suffer so you don't have to.
Yeah. But it's not pleasant. And let me put it to you like this. If they charge people $500 a head or whatever the going rate is, I don't know. I could be grossly exaggerating that. And then took them into these spots, they wouldn't have a damn return customer at all for this stuff. It's just not, it's not pleasant, man. And it's not the people don't want to deal with this stuff. People want to like do some wood knocks and hear some answering wood knocks and then maybe find some prints and then maybe hear some returns to their whoops that they do.
Get a hot dog.
And then, cook some hot dogs, tell some stories. And that's cool. And that's fun. I mean, hell, I'd love to do that. That sounds awesome. They don't want to be 8-10 miles away from your vehicle and there's two of you and you're seeing stuff, you're seeing things, you're seeing what looks like creatures for like it's weird. You've got stuff in the treetops above you and it's just all of this. It's a weird spot, man. It's not pleasant. And I'm just telling you right now that we go looking for unpleasant stuff and it's like too unpleasant for me almost,
I think he was referring to Arcane. I think he was referring to the Bigfoot festival that they do in Westminster.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I think that's what he's referring to, not necessarily an expedition, a paid expedition thing.
Oh, okay. Well, they do paid expeditions up near Caesar Head. So, Catherine Gray, thank you for that. $5 super.
Thank you, Catherine Gay.
Thank you so much. Get all 10,000 subscribers to do that? $50,000, kid.
You won't see us until the money runs out.
Yeah, and then we'll come back.
The hookers leave.
Yeah, exactly. We need more money for bail. Thank you for that, Catherine. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a good exit strategy? No, we don't. Because quite honestly, there's no quick exiting from the. All right, so the video you're going to see, and I haven't seen your editing yet, but Jesse usually takes several hours and then condenses it down so that you get the highlights and it follows the same flow of events. You basically just get it condensed down into
It's chronological. Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, just to put that out there, anybody that's interested in kind of the process, it is chronological. What you are seeing in the video is the order in which it happened.
You just don't get us arguing, us filtering water, us changing batteries, us,
peeing behind trees,
stuff like that. But as far as a good exit strategy goes, the video she's getting ready to release, we were like 8 miles from the vehicle. There have been nights like that night you got bluff charged by something, or what appeared to be a bluff charge. That was miles back to the truck, and we got paced out by something the whole damn way. So much so that I got ticked because we couldn't catch sight of it. I had her start the truck up, and I ran back in the woods by myself, which is not the smartest thing to do, just to see if I could catch a glimpse of it. And whatever it was just stayed back. I couldn't catch it with the flashlight, just stayed back. So as far as an exit strategy goes, if we had to, try to make it to the vehicle in time. But I realize at the same time, that's miles, man. That's miles. And you can't run through, especially the area we're in right now. You can barely walk through there.
There's no running with the amount of equipment we have on our backs too. So it is what it is. We that's why we do carry protection in the woods. We don't have an exit strategy. There's no like getting out of there. There's no airlift. There's no like exit door to the haunted house.
Grim had mentioned there's some really nice 3D scan apps for phones. Yeah, we're actually playing around with the one we were playing around with that we liked a lot, went out of business because I guess it was really good and they didn't charge a lot. And that's why I liked it. But I guess their business model was not great. So
the person, Mike Ann, introduced us to that.
Yeah, he's the one who turned me onto it.
And so, yeah. Mike Ann, I tell you, he's always, my favorite thing about Mike Ann is like, oh my God, there's an app. There's an app. Let me show you.
Got an app for it.
Joe, let me show Joe. Let me show you, Joe. Joe, let me show you the app. Yeah. So he's always like on the cutting edge of all of that stuff.
So it, but anyway, yeah, like I said, we don't really have we've got a personal locator beacon in case something mundane happens to us, like one of us breaks a leg, something bad like that happens, and then we just wait for help. But as far as like if stuff goes wrong with like the stuff we're investigating, we're just we've got some plans in place on how best to deal with it. But so I guess you could say we do have an exit strategy as far as that goes, but it ain't going to be quick. I mean, because we're hours away from our vehicle on foot at that point. So, all right, let me go through some of these other things that we had here.
Yeah, I'm throwing
Richard Cox had mentioned Nimblewheel Gap has so many roads. I'm not even familiar with where Nimblewheel Gap is. Are you?
No, I am not at all. I like the name.
Nimblewheel Gap.
It sounds like it's full of fairies.
It's in Georgia. I'm going to save that. Thank you for the heads up on that, Richard. I will.
Kim Drescher, thank you.
I was just killing that. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Kim Drescher, thank you for that $10. I wish I could give you $1 for each subscriber, but alas, I'm just a working girl. Congrats.
Well, you need to get a second job, Kim Drescher. Just, this YouTube comment's a legally binding contract at this point.
Yeah, there you go. No. Thank you, Kim. We really appreciate your constant support and encouragement and everything that you do for us.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Kim. Clasby Rhodes asked, and this was a while back, have either one of you had any moving UFO sightings? We had, when you say moving, saw it moving, we were out, and what's crazy is this was near our house. We were out like walking our dog to our mailbox. The old place we lived had a long gravel easement to it, and we were walking down there. Remember the
burning ghost.
The burning ghost or the flaming ghost.
The flaming ghost, yeah.
We saw this ball of fire that was about a couple hundred feet up in the air, and it was moving slow, and it was like trailing flames. It was pretty fast, but not. And we're looking at it, and we're both going, what the hell is that? I mean, it's moving slow. It's not a meteorite. It's going just right across. It's going horizontal through the sky. And we just watched it go off, and we're going, what the hell did we just see here? And to this day, I still think about it and go, it wasn't a Chinese lantern. I mean, it was a ball of fire, man. It was trailing fire, but it was moving slow.
Not everything's a Chinese lantern.
Yeah. So
there was also that time in the Bass Pro in the Cabela's parking lot.
Yeah. Where we got out of the car and everybody's looking in the sky, and
there was this thing up in the sky. It was black and it was darting around like this. It was crazy. And then the Brown Mountain Lights, I consider that.
Yeah.
I consider that a
UFO.
UFO
that was not a weird little ghost light in the woods. That was floating orbs of light that moved independently. And Henry White had asked, we thought about putting up a tent and then move away and watch it from a distance. We've toyed around with the idea of something like that. We don't have a.
But if something's watching us from the distance, is
They're
it
gonna
not
know
going
what
to
we're
watch
doing.
us set it up?
but we've got an idea to try to, I don't want to say bait something in, but entice something in. Try to like lure it in at that point. I think curiosity, it's one of two things. Either you're making it curious or it's just doing whatever the hell it wants to do and it doesn't care whether you're there or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think we're sneaking up on stuff. I don't think we're fooling any of this. I just don't think that it's too many steps ahead of us all the time for us to think we're fooling it or we're doing anything. I think curiosity or just indifference is our best option of trying to like capture evidence or have any sort of like experiences with this stuff. So
yeah, and it seems like a lot of people want to ascribe human motivations to whatever these things are, and I just don't think they have human motivations.
I think you put human motivations on it because guess what? We're humans. It's the only damn motivations we know, you know. But people put that, they humanize it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you look for patterns on it. We are trained, we are evolved to look for patterns and stuff. It's how our ancestors stayed alive. It's how they found food to eat, avoided danger and everything like that. So we're pareidolia, you know, that's why you're finding a pattern and where there is no pattern. Your brain is tricking you into there's a pattern there. Same thing with this stuff. Stuff happens and people go, oh, it's doing it because of this. We have no damn reason why, clue why they're doing this. We have no clue what the reason is for a lot of it. So, all right.
Bernie Gannon says, you don't want to be super ironic if the UFOs try to abduct Jesse and the Loch Ness Monster showed up to thwart them.
Ironic,
that would be something.
That would be very ironic.
I wouldn't take his help. You know what? Just out of spite. All the
you let him take me.
All the crap I've talked up to this point. You think I'm going to accept help from that flippered fool? Absolutely not. Flippers off my freedom.
Flippers off my freedom. All right, so
maybe I know these alien gentlemen abducting me. Lady Wolf says a couple of her comments are disappearing. We're not deleting anything, so
yeah, we've had that happen. I had some dude like get crazy upset, claiming that our credibility was killed because we were deleting his comments as he made them. And I'm going, hey, dude, I'm not sitting here with my finger hovering above the delete button, waiting for you to comment again. B, it's YouTube, man. Stuff deletes like all the time. We'll get comments that aren't even, because we do a pretty good job answering our comments. We like interacting with people. And we'll get notification that there was a comment like 2 or 3 minutes before and go to answer it. It's already gone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we'll see the notification, but when we click there, we get that something has gone wrong message. So that just happens.
My app's been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Alan Lassiter says, don't they know as soon as you go into the forest with the scent of your clothing and your skin smell? A lot of hunters use that scent soap that gets rid of your scent and everything. And we've experimented with some of that before. But I don't think there's anything to the point that we're going to go into their environment and go under the radar. I just don't think we're ever going to do that.
And we've talked before that we don't think that there's one particular thing that we're dealing with out there.
Mm-mm.
There's probably different things that we're lumping together under Sasquatch, different things we're lumping together under the term Dogman. Some of them maybe you can fool because you hear about like turkey hunters and stuff like that. Sometimes just sitting there and watching things walk by because they're fully camoed up and they just see it and they're like, it's like it didn't know I was there. And then others are going, it knew I was there the whole time. So I don't know if maybe they knew you were there. They just didn't care for whatever reason. I don't know. So
Moondog says something just disappeared on them too. That's wild. I don't know. Maybe it's because we've crossed the Rubicon.
That's weird. We don't usually have that on the chat. That's usually in like regular comments. So
we've crossed the Rubicon of 10,000.
And usually, if anything triggers like the
auto,
it triggers it. We get a little message saying, "Hey, do you want to approve this comment?"
You know what I could do? Maybe no, because that's for comments. This is not. This is chat. I was gonna say I could take off the filters on that. I don't know.
I don't think there's any chat on here you can do it with. So that's weird.
All right. Sorry. Well, guys. Just keep hammering at it.
Keep hammering at it. Somebody had asked if we were going to do another werewolf experiments. We're going to eventually do one. You won't know about it until we're done and back. So that way we're not live streaming from there and we don't get the cops called on us again.
Yeah.
We're going to redo that scent experiment because the 2 times we've tried to put out scent chips, we've just gotten hit with rain and they're really bad.
Every time we go to the LBL, we get hit with insane amounts of crazy weather. There was that tornado, an ice storm, all within a couple-day period. It was just nuts. And I know that, everybody like Barton lives in Kentucky. He knows the weather's crazy up there. So we're going to try it again. We're going to hope for dry weather this time when we do it.
We were going to try that again. And then we've got a couple other things we want to try. The whole thing is that our whole goal with this is to do different stuff that other people aren't doing. Like, that's why casting prints, there's so many people casting prints that are better at it than we'll ever be. Let them do that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we can add some value to the investigation of these things in different ways and maybe do stuff that other people won't do. So far out there that people have tried raw meat. They have tried just various things to try to bait these things in the LBL. So we've got some ideas that have not been tried before to see if, again, we can either work on that curiosity, kind of like trigger some sort of predatory instinct. There's other things that we're going to try to do. Maybe make it so curious that it kind of becomes a little less cautious for whatever reason. So we've got some ideas on it.
Arcade Discoveries 423 says, how long or how many videos should we see coming from the dark corner of South Carolina? This is an ongoing situation. This is an ongoing investigation. We're going to keep going. And
if we have many more nights like we had
for the follow-up for the video that's coming out Wednesday, if we have any more nights like that,
it's either going to be a ton of videos and that's all you're going to see for a while, or you're not going to see any more at all from there and we're going to go pick up.
After that video comes out on Wednesday, you guys will see Joe's a little flipped out about the area.
I'm a little rattled by the area. That's a complete...
And it's
let me
understandable.
say this real quick. I've been arguing with people for years when we look at the trees. We just don't film a lot of footage of us standing there looking up. Okay. Nobody wants to see that for 40 minutes. Okay. Just because you don't see it on the video doesn't mean that we do it. But we don't spend as much time watching the trees as you would maybe think, because in a lot of these areas, the trees that we've got, they're big, but there's not anything there's not a 500-pound animal jumping from treetop to treetop. Or so we thought. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense that things this big could be in the treetops. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I almost started shooting into the trees on that night investigation. I mean, I was literally 5 seconds away from just going, because there's something in the trees above us. And we run out of that area because we're walking. And then you just start seeing leaves fall in front of the camera I've got going. And I look up just in time to see something leave a branch and and I'm going, what the hell am I looking at? And you're first thinking, all right, is it like a small animal? It wasn't small, whatever that was. And we jet forward. I grab Jess and we run forward like a few yards and stop and look. And we're watching the tops of the trees move over top of us again. And you're just watching. It had rained earlier that day. So there's raindrops, there's water falling from those tree limbs, and then there's leaves falling. And we moved out of there. I was like, we need to get to an area where we don't have as much tree cover over us. That's very off-putting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very off-putting. So
but you guys will definitely see Joe. Joe got it was very tense.
Yeah.
Can I do something for you get ready for that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Deborah Stewart, $100.
Deborah Stewart.
Thank
my
you
Lord.
so
Thank
much.
You. Thank you so much.
Hi, Jess and Joe. For those who can't afford to, thank you so freaking much. Thank you. That is so cool of you. Really.
You basically donated a penny for every single subscriber that we have.
You did.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And they should thank you too, damn it. So no, thank you so much for that, Deborah Stewart. Oh, my
Lord. You. That is so cool.
We're honored and we're very, very, very appreciative.
Humbled. Yes.
Very humbled. So,
thank
it is humbling that we're just a couple of really weird people with not the best social skills.
Speak for yourself.
We're awkward in public, and it's just we run against the grain with so much of this stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the casting footprints thing. Nope, ain't gonna do it. We're gonna run this instead.
We meet a lot of resistance in the community as well.
Yeah, and I know we're not everybody's cup of tea. So the fact that we managed to find some people that kind of enjoy and see value in what we do is it's humbling. We really appreciate it. So
yeah, thank you. Truly.
Thank you so much for that, Deborah. We really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
Get back to your programming.
Okay. Well, I mean, Deborah stole the show there.
Deborah stole it.
Stole the show. Manu asked, when is our trip to Alaska happening? We don't really have any. I know a couple of people that are into Bigfoot that live up there, but it's just like online, kind of like not even friendships, just share a little bit of information. We don't really have any contacts or anything up there for it. So I would love to go there eventually, but I just don't know. I'm going to show that one more time, Deborah. Thank you so much for doing that. So
that's for the 10K celebration.
Is this the 10K celebration dance?
You like it?
Ah, so graceful. Look at that. Poetry in motion.
Yep. See why he married me? It's those moves.
Rob asks, have you guys named the laughing Bigfoot yet? No, because we've actually got to talk to those people. We're behind in talking to those witnesses. And if you're watching right now, because I know you watch our stuff, that's why you got in touch with us in the first place. We got to get in touch with you. It's just that all of this has kind of caught us off guard with the activity in our area. We usually travel quite a ways from home to do this. And the few times we've gone out looking for stuff in our immediate area, we never really found much, and then to find it in like the most uncomfortable, trust me, we would much rather be deeper in the mountains or investigating further north right now. The part of the country we're in right now, it ain't too pleasant in the middle of the summer. But you got to go to where it takes you to. So the people that alerted us to this area said that they run across Sasquatch in there before, and they've heard them. That whatever the laughing thing is different.
It's not a Sasquatch. They think it's something
else different. So I don't know. So we don't have a name for it yet because we haven't experienced it. We heard like stereotypical like Bigfoot whoops and howls and screams and stuff like that, but we've not heard the laughing yet. So
I'm so scared to hear it because the one of our witnesses is terrified by it. It scared the crap out of
They won't meet. They said they'll meet us out there during the daytime, but they're leaving at night.
I'm
they're leaving
so
before.
flipped out thinking like, I think maybe my anticipation of it, like as soon as I hear it, it's going to shake me so bad. And it's going to be probably one of the most terrifying things. I know like during our night investigation that we're releasing on Wednesday, I had a bad adrenaline dump twice during that because of what happened. I think that's going to be just crazy if that occurs.
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want them to think that you're dropping all these teasers. You're just teasing us up for the Wednesday thing. If Barton's in here, you can tell him. I was talking to him, this place is just, this is weird stuff up there. You know what I'm saying? This is weird stuff up there.
It's scary.
And at one point we had seen like eye shine that you caught that on camera, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we see eye shine and it's tall. And we found out, for those of you that follow the subject, when we got up to the area after Jessie ran up there, after I tried to stop her, it's in a big patch of huckleberries. And if you know the Sasquatch that the Olympic Project guys are running into out there, they keep finding those nests and all this activity around huckleberry patches. And there's a lot of theories on why about that. Well, we're leaving out of that, and I look to my right and I see two amber reddish dots of light that look like eyes, and I catch the outline of something weird, and then it's just gone. And if you ask me how it was gone, I don't know. It didn't seem like it vanished. It didn't seem like it stepped back into the brush. Talking to Barton about it, I was going, this sounds crazy, but honestly, it almost seems like I lost like 2 seconds of time or something like that I can't recall. And I was filming at the time. I still didn't, I'm stammering right now because I'm having a hard time. And it wasn't major. It wasn't like anything major. It was just, it shook me a great deal.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell you how it was gone. The other things that we've seen, they were running and they were moving, and like we just lose sight of them because they're going too fast.
This was there.
You don't know what it did. It jumped in a hole in the ground. It took off flying. It hid behind a rock. You don't know. This was just there, and then it was gone, and I couldn't even vocalize what had happened to me very well because I'm just going, what the? And I was just very confused after it. It just left me with a very deep sense of confusion about what had just happened to me, and that's very off-putting to me. As soon as I kind of went, it's almost like I'm missing a couple of seconds of time. Or it's almost like something messed with my perception or messed in how I was processing that perception. It's almost like my brain just stopped working for a couple of seconds and then I don't know where it's at.
Do you think it's basically kind of a state of shock? You know, maybe your body went into a state of shock.
No, because I've seen weirder stuff and my body didn't go into a state of shock. Yeah. And what I saw wasn't very striking. It was eyes and then the impression of something, or at least that's how I'm remembering it. That's what's getting to me right now. Can I trust my own memory at that point? That's weird. It's very weird. It's very off-putting. And if you're dealing with something that at this point can kind of, and that threw me down a rabbit hole. I'm going, maybe we're not dealing with stuff from another dimension in some of these cases, or things that are like living underground. Maybe they're here all the time. It's just they can screw with you so that if you do see them, you don't remember it. Or I don't know. That was a very confusing couple of seconds for me. And you could tell I got quiet after that. I was just going, I don't know what I just saw.
That was kind of a rough trip home.
Yeah, I was just I am still right now, if you can tell, I'm stammering talking about it. It's kind of hard to explain it. And even how I'm explaining it's not doing justice because I was filming too. I don't think that something's editing my memory and editing film at the same time. I don't know. I just all of a sudden just kind of went, some of the weirder stuff we've heard all of a sudden doesn't seem so weird to me anymore. It doesn't seem so implausible to me anymore. So there we go. There's that.
Barton Nunley had a terrifying thing here.
You know, Barton Nunley had something scary to say? Oh,
yeah, I know.
That's out of character.
Joe kept referring to Barton the night of this investigation that we're releasing on Wednesday. He kept talking about Barton.
Because Barton, for years, if you guys have listened to us, you know who Barton Nunley is. And for years, he's gone that Bigfoot are terrifying. He'll go out looking for Dogman. He doesn't want anything to do with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And again, I've always said, people are like, oh, you're dealing with Sasquatch in these areas. Up until now, I don't think we have been.
Yeah. But now we're dealing with it and it's scary.
It's freaking terrifying. It's really just, it's terrifying. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say so. Barton said, you may hear that forever, Jess, in your dreams.
Yeah. So
thank you for that. I'm going to hear that in my dreams.
And I don't know if you'd call it spiritual. I don't know if you would call it interdimensional. I don't know what you would deal, but if I'm standing there, even if it's not what happened, if something is putting me into the frame of mind where I don't trust my immediate memories from like just a couple of minutes ago,
that's disturbing.
That's disturbing.
Very
and
disturbing.
That's when I'm down the rabbit hole. I'm going, do these things have the ability to not necessarily hide physically, like go somewhere else? Do they just have the ability to not even hide from your vision? Do they have the ability to basically edit themselves out of your thoughts? Because quite honestly, I don't know. I just don't know. But I've never felt like something just took a couple of seconds away from me. I don't have it anymore. And I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what it was, but that's what it felt like at the freaking time. And then now you're going, you hear about this with like UFO stuff, people that have repressed memories. And then I'm thinking all the way home, is there going to be a day that I'm just like walking around and I'm going to remember, like we carry cameras with us and you wouldn't think that anything would, but we turn those cameras off sometimes. Mm-hmm. We have to, you know, we have to switch out gears sometimes and all that. And I'm going, and that's a disturbing thing. And I'm not saying that happened, but I'm just saying now I can't say that that's impossible anymore.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. So
Marcus Aurelius, thank you for that $9.99. It's difficult to try and explain what we truly don't understand.
Sometimes you don't even have the vocabulary to explain what is going on with you. And I think that's a lot of why people are quiet about it.
Just having trouble expressing what they experienced or what they're
I just sound like a crazy person talking about this.
Yeah.
People are going to go, you need to get your head examined. Maybe I do, but I know that if other people, and that was extremely, and again, I don't want to blow it out of proportion. For me, it was big, but compared to what other people dealt with, it's not that big of a deal, you know? And I have trouble expressing it.
Yeah.
And I could see other people just going, I don't even know how I could talk to somebody else about it, you know? So just very weird, very weird.
Dang, sorry to do this. Another one. Mike A, thank you for that. Hey, congrats on 10K. I look forward to meeting you guys. Martin and Scott Carpenter. Martin and Scott Carpenter at the Wild Man and Cryptids Conference in October. And who knows, maybe one day we'll bump heads in the LBL.
That conference is going to be like next level.
It's going to be so fun Thank you for that $20, Mike.
Thank
We
you,
really
Mike, for that
appreciate it.
$20.
Can't
Thank
wait
you.
to meet you too. That's going to be really cool. I'll make sure I bring you something cool.
And walk up to us and go, hey, I'm the dude who gave you guys $20. Like, do a dance for me or something like that, man. Give me my money's worth, you know. Yes.
We'll dance. But we'll bring you something cool to the conference. But that conference is going to be insane. You've got
nuts.
Ron Moorhead, Scott Carpenter, Martin Groves, and us all on the same ticket. That's going to be crazy. There's going to be like this metaphysical Bigfoot tearing of reality going on, you know?
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
so,
that is going to be a blast. All right, I've lost where I'm at in the chat, so forgive.
I'm going down here.
Make sure you guys hit that like button.
Would it kill you to hit that like?
Make sure you guys hit that like button. We really appreciate you guys being a part of this live stream. We hit 10K. We were really working towards that 10K.
I'm going to thank Deborah Stewart again. Deborah Stewart, thank you so much for that again. That popped up in my saved comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grim wants to know, Knife Kids is what the kids are calling
Knife
it.
Kids.
The Knife Kids. The Knife Check. Knife Check is what the kids are calling it. I'm carrying a very subtle knife. You have to carry it in a sheath. It's too big to even carry in a pocket. So it's got a belt clip to it. But it is an old school. Let me try to even get it in the damn camera frame here. Good Lord. Vaquero. It's like a 6.5-inch blade for a folder. Our buddy Denim Devil gave that to us. So I've got that today. And then you have the other end of the spectrum.
I have the other end of the spectrum. I have the teeny tiny version. I have a Cold Steel Voyager. It is basically the same knife, but the teeny child's version.
1/10 of the size.
Yeah, so it's the little Jessie size. We have a habit of buying the exact
similar
same
size
thing.
knives, yeah.
Well, not just that. We buy the exact same boots.
Yep.
Just I get the tiny version of everything. So we have a lot of matching stuff for like a little Sadie Hawkins dance with knives and stuff. But yes, those are Cold Steels. Those are old school Cold Steels.
Survival camp you go to up here has had a Bigfoot or something else running around out there, and there's been reports of Bigfoot and gaffing. Huh.
The survival school I go to is I've heard. Last time I was there, what was it for? Wilderness First Aid.
Yeah.
I was there for Wilderness First Aid, and I was camping out there, and Joe's at home, and I actually had a little bit of a signal on my phone. I sent him videos because I'm laying in my tent, and in the distance, I hear,
yeah,
and I was like, what?
And the guy that runs the school is. You have to tell me this. I know he's open to the idea. Has he seen stuff down through there?
He's heard some weird stuff.
Yeah.
He said there's something going on out there because it's a really dark. It's not an insanely large swath of wilderness, comparatively speaking, but it is very difficult to get in and out of. Not a lot of people go out there. It's very thick, and it's just it's kind of a scary, dark place.
They keep finding decapitated people.
People get decapitated out there all the time.
And when you think go all the time, yeah, all the time.
All the time, yeah. So there's a dirt bike and four-wheeler area out there, and it's down below where the survival school is, so you can kind of hear it sometimes. But they'll have people run up the hill to the school and get them to call 911 because people get decapitated out there. Like they're riding their dirt bikes and they'll jump and hit a limb or something and shear it right off.
Is that what's happening? Is something else decapitating them out there?
I think something's just popping heads off of dirt bikers out there.
Left and right, man. Popping heads off left and right.
Yeah, yeah. Those dirt bike trails are insanely dangerous. All right.
Going along. Hold on. We got to go around here. Ghetto Yeti, boy, Ghetto Yeti. You guys have such an awesome, unique, and badass approach to this field. You're one of the 2 channels I watch religiously on YouTube. So stoked and proud of you for hitting 10K. It's so deserved. Thank you for that, Yeti. We really appreciate it. So you're one of the OG people on this chat, and we really appreciate it. So.
Ghetto Yeti, Benita Wilcox.
Too bad everything has to come to an end, though. Again, the insolence is done. 10K. We're not some janky little YouTube channel anymore.
We're still janky.
Yeah, so
we're still... we're not
being treated with the respect that we deserve.
So. We're not too good. We are 10K people now, though. We deserve 10K treatments.
Dee and Dooster are going to be at that conference as well.
That is going to be a great conference.
What we need to do though is, because feuds are the big thing in like the cryptid community. Beefs. We ought to Martin Groves and us ought to have like a real public, like loud beef there. Do you know what I'm saying? Just for like shits and grins.
What kind of beef? What are we going to beef over?
I don't know. We're going to
regular Vienna sausage.
Yes, I was going to say you're going to beef over beef. You're going to have a beef.
Well, don't jump too far. Vienna sausages are not necessarily
really beef. Yeah, not really beef. So not really beef.
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius asks, "Are you guys speaking at the conference? It's going to be epic." Yes, I am going to be speaking at the conference.
I don't speak at conferences, so that will be Jesse.
Joe's going to be kind of on the sideline. Periodically, he will nod.
Give one of those every once.
Give one of those.
I might look at the audience and give them a.
Actually, usually Joe will be on the side and he hits the next button for the next slide.
I'm the button guy.
He's a button guy.
I'm the button guy.
He presses my buttons. For sure. But yeah, I am speaking at
only 31 likes. I'm in this damn stream right now. Good Lord. Kill the YouTube.
We're 10K people and only 31 likes.
What the hell?
Now he's confirming it.
I'm embarrassed for everybody here. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Where was I at? Going down here. So.
No one says it's a murder tool for a dainty lady. I'm very dainty. Very just
demure.
A demure, dainty little shrinking violet.
You are the Eliza Doolittle of the cryptid world. You're this refined lady.
Are you my daddy Warbucks?
I'm your yes. Sean Blevins got booted from some Facebook groups for sharing our videos. I'd asked him earlier which Facebook groups they were, but I don't think he.
John, tell us. You can tell us in private. Tell us in private what.
Yeah,
groups.
Tell us in private. We don't want to.
We want to know where we're not welcome. Which the list gets longer every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Sean Blevins says we need to buy a Cold Steel signature Spartan.
Yeah, it's.
We are about to actually probably start phasing out of Cold Steel a good bit. Probably keep the vintage stuff that we have for sure.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
I'm trying to get through these too. I know we're.
Dee was talking about earlier about having a Hellbender get together sometime in the future.
What would we call it?
I don't know.
Hellbender Fest.
Hellbender Fest. Nah, Fest is overused. So. Hellbender Hootenanny.
Yes.
Got to work that hootenanny.
Yes.
The Hellbender Hootenanny.
Yes. Hootenanny is a just criminally underused phrase.
Ought to be a law.
So
ought to be a law.
Yeah. So prepare yourselves. Hellbender Hootenanny 2024.
Hellbender Hootenanny. That would be awesome.
Is there going to be a beef? Is there going to be a
Got
throwdown at
beef
the
with beef? Yes. So
a throwdown at the Hellbender Hootenanny.
Kevsky asked if we could restart merchandise. We did the merchandise. We had that merchandise link up with were we with? Teespring. And it wasn't even really the thing we made money off of. We just had it up there for people to do. And Jesse put a few designs up there. And the quality sucked. The quality was terrible. People were messaging us going, I can't believe you all sent me this terrible t-shirt or this horrible coffee mug. And we were going, it ain't us, man. I mean, we sent somebody that had a coffee mug. We were going, we don't have mugs. We'll send you one of the shirts like we wear, just to kind of soften the blow a little bit. But we had to take it down just because people were getting ripped off with it, man. We were embarrassed to have any association with it. So
Barton Nunley says, Martin and I may have one next weekend in Tennessee.
10,000 other apers.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius coming in again hot this week. Hellbender Hoedown. That ain't bad. That'll be the dance that's after.
I think
the cotillion after the
cotillion.
Yes.
Although I think for our northern watchers and listeners, the term hoedown is not common, so they might have a different view of what is actually going to go down at the
hoes are going down.
The hoes are going down.
Hoes are going down there.
Everybody's gonna be like, "This is the best conference I've ever been to.
This is great." So, thank you for that, Marcus. As always, thank you, sir or ma'am. Not sure whether I would assume Marcus Aurelius is a man. He's got some awesome stuff every week. So
Alan Lassiter says, Jesse, wasn't you on Night Callers before? I was not on Night Callers. I've never been on Night Callers radio.
When Mike Ann was on there, I was on there under the Hellbent Holler channel commenting because we're friends with Mike Ann.
Mhm.
Mike Ann's a good guy.
But I've never been interviewed on
Yeah,
there.
but as far as being interviewed, no, we've never been. We don't get a lot of camaraderie from the majority of this field, unfortunately.
Not lately,
Not
for
lately
sure.
at all. So we don't
Not
really.
lately, for sure.
We just kind of focus on doing our stuff, and that's it. So.
God, there's too many plans going together here. Jaeger71 says, we need a Hellbender band. I can play drums and bass guitar. We're going to have a Hellbender band. Who was writing a song last week? Somebody's working on a Hellbender.
There's two different people working on songs right now.
You guys have got to get together. We gotta make these connections. We're gonna have to have like a classifieds board too. This is gonna get too complex.
Hold on one second. Penny Van. My mom's side from the families from the Hollows of Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley. I never heard the term hootenanny from them. I'm also from that same area. And hootenanny is that's a more southern term than that area. So what do we got? What do we got going on here?
Hellbent Beer and Bigfoot Fest. That's pretty good. We'll get a couple of breweries to join up.
This is a good one. Suji. On the other hand, Jessie became dizzy right before she found that Iron Horseshoe. If you have Fey blood, iron can make you feel like that. Jessel's spacey features are a bit Fey looking. Give him a Fey look. Yeah, and it's weird because we were actually, it's just become the Bart and Unley side show today. Bart and I were talking about, Jessie has a theory about old iron bridges and Dogman encounters. And Aaron Dees actually talks about that in the Texas Dogman Triangle book. Jessie contributed a small section for it. Iron bridges seem to be, old unused iron bridges especially, seem to be focal points for these things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at folklore, cold iron is usually a repellent. It's usually something that the Fae and all of these unearthly creatures try to shy away from. But then with some of the stuff, old iron bridges especially seems to attract them in. Look at the LBL. A lot of iron content there. There was a burgeoning iron industry that was short-lived there.
Yeah.
One of the areas that we go to has a lot of iron slag left, and that is rock that the iron has been, it's like a byproduct of it. And that's a commonly very active area as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. It seems like an abundance of iron seems to cause activity sometimes, and an absence of iron seems to cause. And I think that goes back to you're dealing with different stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what causes a lot of the confusion with this, is that you have somebody who had one experience with one thing that looked like a Sasquatch, and they go, Sasquatch does X. And then you have somebody else who had an experience with something that looked like Sasquatch, and they go, Sasquatch does Y. My Sasquatch didn't behave like yours, therefore you're lying and you're a hoaxer.
Yeah.
And that causes all this argument. Why can't you just go, you experienced something that on face value looked similar, but might have completely different properties or completely different origins or anything like that. And that's why you had two very, very, very different encounters.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hello, Frank. Long time no see.
Frank
sir.
is on here. What's up, buddy? So Marcus Aurelius can also bring the hose for the after party dance.
Marcus Aurelius,
Waving money around, bringing like a
I gotta tell
posse
you,
of chicks
I gotta
in,
tell you,
so-
people are in the running for MVP tonight. Deborah Stewart is pretty high up there, but now Marcus Aurelius is promising hoes.
He's bringing the chicks.
I don't know where this is gonna go.
Penny Van, the little town of Shenandoah, Elkton, Harrisonburg. Yes. Yeah, I'm from right smack dab in the middle of all that. I'm not going to dox myself, but yeah, I'm right smack. I grew up right smack. Went to school up there. Went to college up there. I went. That was my home.
They've decided they want to call the band Knife Check.
It's actually pretty good.
That's a really good band name. Central Florida Bigfoot, congrats on 10K. Thank you.
Central Florida Bigfoot.
Thank you so much.
We won't be talking to you anymore because unfortunately we're too small of a channel, but it's been fun. Okay. I'm sure you understand. I'm sure you understand.
We could start a beef with
Best
him.
of luck to you, huh?
We could start a beef with him.
He's one of the few people that likes us. We can't start a beef with Central Florida Bigfoot.
That turning on your friends is good TV.
That
you
is
see?
betrayal.
Betrayal.
Harsh betrayal.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Original thinking right here, buddy.
And then he can do a video going, I just can't believe that they would stab me in the back like this after I sent them I've sent them stuff. I've sent them paint swatches.
Mhm.
I've sent them all of this stuff, and this is how they
Mhm.
this is how they betray.
This is look what they've done to my boy.
Look at what they've done to my boy. Actually, I think Central Florida's going live tonight after we get off, so we'll probably.
I've made a beef roast for dinner.
Oh, good Lord, there's beef everywhere. I didn't think about that.
Yes, there's a beef roast for dinner. We'll be enjoying Central Florida Bigfoot and a beef roast.
We're not squashing the beef. But anyway, when we get done here, we're going to pop over to his chat, and we'll be in the chat there supporting our boy. So when we're wrapping up here, why don't all of y'all follow us over to Central Florida Bigfoot and just drive him crazy in the chat? That'd be great. So
yes. I wish you good luck in the wars to come, Central Florida Bigfoot. The beef begins today.
Anyway.
UEC says, what's your thoughts about vampires? I've been watching something of two guys around New Orleans who claim that they hunt them down. Joe and I lived in New Orleans
for years.
For a long time.
And if it's going to happen somewhere, it's going to happen there.
Probably.
And I always hesitate to talk about all this stuff because it sounds like creepypasta. And it's not something that we personally experienced. But after Katrina, there were a lot of weird stories going around down there. And there were a lot of stories that I don't want to say things, and I hate to say that because I'm sounding sensational already. The stories were that there were things operating in parts of the city, and that was because it was easy to make people disappear and do whatever.
Yes.
Point. And there were rumors from people that you would not have expected to tell these rumors that some of the NOPD ran across what you would consider vampires. And when I say some people that you people that were supposedly involved with it would get drunk and talk about stuff that they were not supposed to talk about. And because it's New Orleans, people drink a lot, and people were drinking a whole lot after the crap that people had to deal with during Katrina. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And if you go, that sounds crazy, I think it sounds crazy too. But damn, those were some pretty believable people telling you these stories. So if you tell me that right now, part of me wants to go probably just creepypasta. And then part of me remembers sitting in bars late at night down there and watching people that I knew on the police force tell me these crazy stories about stuff that supposedly was going on, and just going, are they pulling my leg? Or are they telling me the truth here?
They seem pretty sincere.
They seemed extremely sincere. So I don't know.
Bernie Gannon says, is New Orleans the weirdest big town in the U.S.? Probably. In terms of paranormal,
and in terms of the people and all that?
In terms of the people.
Probably.
Yeah, it's where adults run away. It's full of adult runaways, basically. Yeah.
And it's a very transient population, meaning that people come and go, because it's a rough city to live in. It burns you out really quickly. The bars never close. Yeah. Behavior that will get you locked up in any other city in the nation, just overlooked down there. So it encourages insane behavior. And it burns people out quick. So a lot of times you'll see everybody 5-6 times a week for years, and then they just disappear one day. And you assume that they just got tired of it and moved back home.
Even in the age of Facebook, a lot of the people that we knew down there didn't even have Facebook. So what is that? Because they're in bars every day, they don't do that. So, but people just disappear, and you're just like, oh, I guess they're gone now.
Yeah. So hold on a second. I'm losing control of the chat here.
Vault of Nightmares is here.
It's exactly what I was pulling up.
Oh, dang it. I was doing it.
So, Vault, hope you're feeling better.
I hope you're doing all right, buddy.
We heard through the grapevine, Vault's having some health stuff go on. We wish you a speedy recovery, my friend.
Vault's too mean to let that put him down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. So
he's too tough and gnarly for that.
Too ornery.
He's too ornery. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I heard through the grapevine that you're struggling with some health stuff, buddy, and I'm hoping that you're on the mend there. The patron saint of Helmet Holler, Sheila Evelyn, has graced us with her presence.
Sheila, there you are. Hey, Sheila.
Sheila is a huge supporter of ours, and some of the equipment that you occasionally see is basically due directly to Sheila.
We ought to get like a little nameplate for something that we get and name it Sheila.
The Sheila Evelyn Memorial Thermal Imager
She's
or
not
something.
dead.
Yeah. Well, you know. And that's bad because she just had that fall too. So she's out there going, I'm not dead yet.
Please.
Not dead yet.
I'll use my label maker. We'll label Sheila on something.
Yeah, we'll call it we'll break out the Sheila.
The Sheila unit. Yeah.
Break out the Sheila. So.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, hold on. Let me see real quick. Ghetto Yeti. That's what my old friend who was an escort I knew in New Orleans, late 90s, not the most reliable source, seemed really sincere about it. Are you telling me that she told you that was happening in the 90s? Because what I heard happened right after Katrina, that there was weird stuff happening in there. And people are like, oh, it's because there was so much misery and all that. The prevailing thought is that there was just chaos and people were going missing left and right and nobody knew what was really going on. And it was like a feeding ground. Again, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm telling you that was stories being told to me by drunk people in bars who would be in a position to know. And I can't say that they weren't afterwards going, I think that idiot believed everything I said. It might've been what happened. I don't know. But if you heard something similar in the 90s, I would be interested in it.
It's a rough place. I lived there for a little over 10 years. You lived there longer.
Yeah.
He and I moved up here together, obviously. But it's a rough place. It's a scary place. Joe and I both worked graveyards at different bars. So, 2 a.m. to 10 a.m., 5 days a week. And the bar that I was working in was in a whole years too, old building. And I'd be in the bar by myself and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I would just see it looked like full body black, darker than dark apparitions wandering around the bar. It was so crazy.
Marcus came up again. Marcus trying to give everybody else a run for their money. Sponsor of the night. Can you tell me what the explanation is for Hellbent Holler? Love it, by the way, guys. You give that explanation because that was your baby.
My knuckles say Hellbent on them.
Yes.
And we're from the Appalachian region. And I thought it sounded really awesome. I like alliteration a lot.
And if you haven't noticed, Jesse approaches life in a very hellbent manner, meaning there's a lot of just.
That's why I got it tattooed on my knuckles.
Full steam ahead. And it's funny because I see those comments. You'd have it figured out by now if it wasn't for Joe, because I'm always the one going, and you'll see it if you include the footage. I mean, I get ticked off at her on that night investigation she's going to put out because we just saw eye shine and she's just running up this hill and I got a freaking gun out. And
slow down.
Yeah. And I'm just slow down. So Hellbent was a perfect description for what she was doing. And then the fact that, we lived in a holler and had that Appalachian kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Vault says that you're right, that he's too ornery. He's coming back with fire. Fire. Good deal, man.
Yep. Figured that one.
A lot of people sending good energy to Vault out there, man. So a lot of people telling Sheila that she is the bomb.
Sheila is the bomb.
Sheila's the bomb.
Hey, Joe knows. Well, I don't know if I wanted to say this. I was going to say that one maniac ate his girlfriend. Nuts, man.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. I actually knew them and was. That's why you don't tell New Orleans stories, because the Bigfoot and werewolf and me sitting here going, I think I lost a couple seconds of my time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I remember that guy who
murdered his girlfriend.
Chopped up his girlfriend.
And it's so he was delivering, the guy you're talking about, I'm not going to mention names. He was delivering for a supermarket down there that would have delivery people bring you food. And then he was bartending at a bar on the edge of the quarter. And his girlfriend, again, we all thought had just gone back home. So
because people just disappear. And
I was out drinking with that guy for that week, and he seemed very upset. And we thought it was because his girlfriend left him. And he was blowing through money like nobody's business. And we were all trying to caution him to slow down a little bit, man. I know you're upset, but you're going at it real hard right now. And then he jumped off the top of the Omni Hotel.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, did you hear that he jumped off the high? And we were like, man, he was hit. He's so depressed. And then did you hear what they found in his apartment? What did they find in his apartment? They found her head, man, along with
In
some
the
other
oven.
stuff. Yeah, and then what's weird is that apartment was in a not so good building, in a pretty rundown building. It's a pretty rundown apartment.
On
But
Rampart Street.
you're
right?
living in buildings that are hundreds of years old down there. And a girl I knew was like going, I just moved into this freaking just rat trap on Rampart Street, da 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 da, and it just sucks. And just, you know, the bathtub is all chipped up. It's like somebody drove like a knife into it. And I'm going, where are you living out on Rampart Street? And she tells me, and I'm going, hate to tell you this, it's because there was a knife driven into it, because that's where he dismembered her body, was in the tub.
That's where he cut his
And I
girlfriend.
go, take a picture of your stove next time you're there. And then I'm like, he didn't even change the stove out. Landlord left the same stove.
They just cleaned the stove and left
Cleaned
it
the
in
stove and
there.
left the stove in there.
That's
So
nice.
there you go. So there you go.
That's nice. That's why Joe confronted Nick Groff, by the way.
Got drunk, confronted Nick Roth.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So
That's part of that one. Kim Drescher said, maybe you can get some decent Hellbent Holler car stickers. Is that something we do have stickers? We do have decent stickers, but great stickers because I got a sticker guy. Anything we get made, I try to get people that I know that hand make them and do it the right way to do. That's why we don't have a ton of merch or anything like that. We have our t-shirts that get hand screen printed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My stickers are done in Taylor, South Carolina by a buddy of mine. D is our patch gal.
we haven't had them made up yet, but it's patches and hats if we ever decided those.
Yep, and everything's handmade. We
Destroyer's
support small businesses. So Kim, if you would send me an email, I'll send you some stickers. Give me your address, I'll send you some stickers. Just email me. hellbentholler@gmail.com. And actually, I'll throw that up there actually. Choo. There you go. Kim, just email me and I'll give me your address. I'll drop them in the mail for you.
Marcus is going crazy with the questions here.
Mark's lost it.
I gotta catch up with the questions here. All right, hold on. Marcus goes, I love it. You both balance each other out. Do you concealed carry a 9 or a 10 millimeter in your pack? I'm thinking about adding a 10 millimeter to my tool set. We both carry 10 millimeters. We used to carry 9 millimeters with like hard cast ammo, like plus P ammunition. And then as we started to experience more weird stuff, we felt undergunned, and I carried 45 for a little while. Then we both went to 10 millimeters. So we both carried 10 millimeters. And actually, because I got it set over here on top of the
Oh boy.
area that we go into now is so off-putting. I actually carry like extended magazines for the 10 millimeter. I have a regular one in there and a backup, but I've been carrying a couple of these just because it's heavy and it's a pain to carry. And I know it sounds paranoid, but a little paranoia ain't that bad of an idea up there. Vault's going to actually do a show tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah,
So
go.
everybody chime
if
in
you're
on
not subscribed to him, subscribe and put your notifications on for him if he does a show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You guys can check that out.
So, but yeah, we carry 10 millimeters. We carry 10 millimeters. Martin Groves, 10 millimeter all the way. We carry a mixture of, mostly Underwood ammunition with some buffalo bore. And I know that doesn't mean a lot to some people that aren't into guns, but we carry like hard cast ammunition. And then we carry some Ashley Extreme penetrators, and
we have 10 millimeter ammunition that Martin Groves gifted to us that was actually blessed by a priest as well.
And add holy water on it and like sage, just all this stuff. So, so yeah, we carry 10 millimeters, and that's how we roll. In some areas we will carry, we have a Mossberg 12 gauge Shockwave that we can pack carry for it. A guy that we know, and I don't know if he's on the chat tonight or not, is a few hours north of us, and he's a freaking maniac.
That narrows it down.
He goes out and he takes his 2 dogs. He has a short sword.
Steven, yeah.
He has a 10 millimeter pistol now, and then he carries a semi-auto shotgun. And even he talks about it's just so difficult getting through because we don't stay on trails a lot of times. A lot of times we're off trail following game trails or just busting through the brush. So I carry like a Shockwave, Mossberg 12 gauge Shockwave with us, and we both get our 10 millimeters. So, yeah, I expected to hate the Shockwave when we got it. damn, that thing's like fun. We got like a laser sight on it because you're shooting it basically from the hip or from the chest.
I love the
So that's
Shockwave.
awesome.
It's a cool, compact, awesome little unit there. We actually got Frank one for Christmas too. He loves his.
Shade Viking goes, I wonder if Joe has tranquilizer ammo darts. He has everything else.
He needs those for me.
Yeah, damn right. You just come out of the woods with all these like feathered darts sticking out of your neck. It's weird because people are always like, why don't you just tranquilize one? And I'm going, well, I mean, if you have like a veterinarian or like a zoologist who can sit there and calculate normally the amount of anesthesia that you would need for pound of body weight for that particular animal.
Let's say a tiger, you know.
Even then, they misjudge it all the time. Okay.
You got to throw 2 darts in them.
You can get the guns because I've looked at the guns before. Getting the stuff that you pack in the guns those are controlled substances, and you can't really.
Yeah, I was about to say, where are you buying tranquilizer?
You can't really
darts?
buy tranquilizer. You can buy tranquilizer darts. You just can't buy the tranquilizer that goes in.
Think about that meme I showed you the other day. The guy, I need some ninja stars. But Joe would be like, I need some tranquilizer darts.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Robert Lemon says, what kind of shells do you use?
I just use. We usually just use. I use full power 12 gauge buck. I'm thinking about trying to find some of the lower recoil ones that we use. People are like using, like black magic bear slugs. That's going to be next to impossible to do a follow-up shot with if I need to with them. So right now we just carry just regular 12 gauge buck in it. So.
Black magic bear slugs sounds like a club drug in New Orleans.
Black magic. Black magic bear slugs. Oh, good Lord. Lady Wolf was asking, I did. I knew him. So, one more weird story about New Orleans.
Yeah.
A friend of ours, I'm not going to mention her by name, is actually in this chat right now from New Orleans, and she could testify to all of this stuff that you just had. It was just New Orleans is weird, man.
She also escaped with her life.
Yeah, exactly. So. Anyway,
we might not do a super long show tonight just because I know
people
everybody's
are kind of cutting out.
Kind of be like a little tired, but we're gonna keep rolling with it.
Frank says he loves his Shockwave. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad you do. We love ours. Love it.
Well, let's see. Keep going down through here.
Shit Viking. Black magic bears will slug you.
Yeah, damn right they will. So. Talking about, do they actually have skin?
Barton Nunley says, good idea on having your weapons blessed. I had Johnny Henderson bless all of mine, who is not only a priest, but a righteous man.
Kim Drescher's getting all Winchester with this. Black salt, holy water, and some miscellaneous herbs.
I was unpacking some stuff in our library yesterday or last night, and I said, "Oh, Joe, the holy water, the black salt, the graveyard dirt, it's all in the bottom of this cabinet here." Okay, it's like, yeah, you don't hear that often.
We are like the Winchesters, man. We need to start wearing like flannel shirts. Oh, not right now. I'm not wearing flannel shirts, but
I think a tasteful flannel halter top or something.
All right. So what do we got here? Let's see what else we got. Let's see if there's anything else we can pop on here. We're not going to run super late tonight, guys.
All I smell is beef roast.
Yeah, we're starving. So what's coming up?
Okay, so
you've got the video of the night investigation, which is the latter half of the day investigation that you just put out.
Yes.
I don't follow the comings and goings of the channel as best I should.
Yes. So this Wednesday, I will be Why can I not speak today? What's happening? I got beef roast on the brain.
Beef roast on the brain.
Okay, let's slow down. This Wednesday, I will be releasing the follow-up to Old Roads to New Discoveries, our second installment of the Dark Corner series. I'll be releasing the third installment of the Dark Corner series. It'll be the night investigation that follows that video that we did during the day. It's terrifying. It's shocking. We actually got pretty good footage of some crazy stuff. Joe is considering not returning to that place.
We'll go. It's just that we've got to.
So
I don't know. I know the whole purpose of this, and people will go, "It's right there. Why didn't you run after it?" we're in the woods at night all the time. Okay. We've been in some areas that you would think that would be scary, and we're just going, this is awesome. It's like a peaceful night in the woods. This is great. It's not the same there, and I'm not exaggerating. And it's to the point where I was going, all right, we're getting rattled, and it felt like we were getting rattled on purpose almost. So Lady Wolf asked, I hate to be the one to ask this, but what's your thoughts on the fact that Bigfoot and Dogman are usually never alone? Game plan for that. We always assume that whenever something happens, that something else is around us.
Yeah.
One of us will, usually the first person to see it will focus on that, and the other one starts checking the sides and the back.
We usually go back to back, and that way we can kind of get a good view of everything. So that's usually our modus operandi that we go into.
Thermal image we got in the LBL, I got because Jesse heard something busting through the trees towards us really loud. So she focused on that, and I started scanning around us, and then we caught that.
Yeah.
So we never saw what was in the trees ahead of us. But a theory is that one of them was making noise and the other one was trying to like sneak up or observe us. And when I say theory, because I can't prove it, we don't know what was in the woods. Maybe it was just a deer that was in the woods, and then we happened to hear it and stop and then caught that behind us. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe there were two of them there. I'm always under the assumption, as crazy as it sounds, that one of them exists, that there were maybe two of them there.
Yeah.
So I always think that there are two of them. Marcus comes in under the wire. Santana's black magic bear slug.
Because that's a black magic bear slug. Yes, a black magic bear slug.
Somebody reach out to Black Magic and tell them that Jesse has their new jingle. It's going to get ammunition sales up through the roof.
I got a black magic bear slug and it's going to go through the Bigfoot.
Matt Keenan, my theory on iron bridges is the following. Dogman is a dimensional being phasing through different worlds. They use magnetic, highly concentrated iron beams as navigation points. Well, damn, Matt, if you can have a theory, that's a pretty dope theory. Yes. Yes. Richard Manley's got this. We get this question usually once a day about wearing rear-facing cameras. We have tried that. If you're on and I'm going to say this right now, the area that we're in right now on those old roads, a rear-facing camera might just work. Okay. It might work. Most of the areas that we go into are not on like level maintained trails. So when we used to try that, we would just get hours and hours of branches hitting it, me squatting to get underneath something, me crawling to get underneath something. It wasn't level, and the footage we ended up having hours of footage to review that there was just never anything there. And then we just finally went, it doesn't work in the terrain that we usually work in. Now, Scott Carpenter does that, and that's how everybody knows it. Scott Carpenter is usually on actual hiking trails up near where he lives at, near the Smoky Mountains, Smoky Mountain National Park. The area that he is hiking in, those would work well. You're on fairly level ground. If it does, like if there are inclines or whatever, they're gradual and it's manicured, it's cleared out. So you've got a clear line of sight. Doesn't work in most areas. The area we're in right now, though, if we continue to look into this area, might be useful to have.
Yeah, that's something to consider for sure.
I'm more working on right now trying to get
an audio recorder,
a much more sensitive audio recorder, because we haven't been able to pick up some of the stuff we've heard with the action cam microphones. So I'm trying to get a Zoom H1N rigged up to my backpack with an external power source to run it for like 8 or 10 hours at its stretch, and then swap out it and then just keep going into because when we were out there last time, we were damn near out there for a day, like a full day.
Yeah.
Just moving nonstop in the heat. And it was really getting to us. And then all the weird stuff started happening. So it's very stressful. But is trying to get that where it's sensitive enough to pick up the sounds around us, but it's the sounds that we create by moving through the woods aren't drowning everything out. So that's what we're really kind of trying to fine tune right now. You may eventually see me trying to go around with a damn pole sticking out of my backpack with a wire running down it and like a microphone up there. But that's, if I have to go into the trees, then that's going to catch on everything.
Yeah, so of course. You already have trouble getting under stuff because you're so tall.
I don't know the answer to it yet. I don't know the answer. If we're going to put it in some sort of telescopic thing that we can push down, then I don't know. But that's what I'm focusing on right now, as opposed to rear-facing cameras. But you might see them. We might give people a rear-facing camera with this particular area.
Christopher Lineberry says, where do you think these creatures hang out? Do you think these creatures have a hive mind amongst themselves? I don't think there's a hive mind in there. I don't think. I
think that there is, but we disagree on that.
Okay. So, but in terms of where do they hang out, like where do they exist? I think that there's a possibility that they come in and out of our reality, or they interact with our reality completely different than anything that we that we can comprehend. I think that they're in and out of our reality. They can step in and out of our dimension in a way. I don't know.
I've mentioned this before that, let's use Sasquatch for as an example, that in a way, these things behave more like insects than they do primates, because there's not a lot of you hear about different, well, this one's
you talking about the outlier?
There's no outliers for any of this stuff. Where's the stupid ones that get caught? Where's the dumb ones? Where's the sick ones? Where's the weak ones? It seems like they all follow this unbreakable code and nobody deviates from it. Okay. So in a way, it seems like there's a hive mind, and it seems like they're so in lockstep that you don't really get footage of them, that there's not a lot of mistakes made. Okay. There's not one getting, smashed by an 18-wheeler, on a busy highway at night, and you have 300 people end up pulling over to look at it and they're filming on their phones. Why does that not happen? These damn things are like everywhere. There's no real individual thought or action to a certain extent. They all follow the same rules to such an extent. I think you could almost call it a hive mind.
Okay, I can see your point on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
JD Smooth says, in the LBL, did the park rangers give you guys any trouble about you investigating the LBL?
We don't talk about it a lot, but when we live streamed, that ticked off some other channels for some reason, because for some reason, even though it didn't really have anything to do with anything but us, we wanted to share it with some people. And for some reason, some other people got upset about that, because I don't know, it's because people were mentioning our names all of a sudden or what was going on. So somebody dropped a dime to the park claiming that we were out there doing stuff above and beyond just running, because running around with cameras ain't illegal.
Yeah. No crimes been committed here.
No crimes were being committed at that point. You can run around you have a dispersed camping license. You can pretty much sleep anywhere out there with the exception of a few prescribed areas. But what we were doing was not illegal. But
however, if someone drops a dime on us and the authorities come in and
decide to take our equipment, we're out that equipment.
Or they decide to search our vehicle and throw my $5,000 thermal on the ground, I've got some problems.
So we will never again live stream. If we ever live stream from the LBL again, it's going to be unannounced. We're going to do it. We're going to get out and go. And it'll be the last night.
Yeah, we'll live stream it.
It'll be the last night.
Live stream it. Yep. And then after the live stream, load up and jet out.
Because the amount of weird jealousy that goes on in this topic is bizarre to me. You know what I'm saying? We disagree with each other about a lot of stuff, like we just did about the hive.
Yeah.
Martin Groves and I disagreed for the longest time about infrasound. Barton Nunley and I disagree about certain stuff. Guess what? That's a good thing. That way, not everybody's in lockstep, and we need people trying to cover all the bases. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if I may think that the idea is ridiculous, but if somebody wants to take a serious approach trying to find a flesh and blood creature, you do that, because I'm not. Okay. And since we don't really know anything for certain, we're covering all the bases. That's a good thing. If people think differently than we do, that's a good thing, okay? And we can be friends, and we can encourage each other to each kind of research your own particular, topic of craziness, It's a good thing to have everybody not on the same page.
Of course, yeah.
But it makes people so infuriated, and then people get upset that you're not following lockstep with something that they can't prove to you, but that runs counter to your own personal experiences, but yet they get upset about it because you're not, it's a personal affront to them. How dare you not believe my Bigfoot genius here? You know what I'm saying? My Bigfoot research genius. So
big brain, Bigfoot
genius. Big brain, Bigfoot genius. So, so we will never, after that, we will never,
actually, you know what?
And we ran into one of the people that were there, because when we were talking, there were people from other jurisdictions, and we ran into one of the LBL people, and she was just like, we had a call about people matching your description. We're pretty distinctive looking people, and we don't really blend in. And we just went, we're out here just taking photographs, man. We're tourists. I don't know what to tell you, And she was just like, well, why would somebody? I have no clue what to tell you, ma'am. We were taking photos of the iron furnace when you pulled up, and that's what we're going to do when you pull
Listen,
up.
lady,
Yeah.
this is a cryptozoology beef going on.
You're getting pulled into YouTube drama that we're not even a part of. So there you go.
Can you help us? No.
Yeah.
We will live stream from there again because just as a spite thing, I guess. No.
Yeah, we will, but it'll be when we're not gonna get.
And then we're gonna go harass Stephen Taylor again.
Yeah, was Stephen
at
Taylor
his
in
home.
the chat?
I think Stephen Taylor's here.
I thought I saw Stephen Taylor.
Stephen Taylor's here. We're gonna go show up at Stephen Taylor's house after we get done.
There's Stephen Taylor. All right, Marcus Aurelius on fire. Have we had enough time to absolutely determine a hive mind mentality overall? Do we absolutely see specific outliers within this realm? Is there truly a right or wrong answer to this? There's not a truly right or wrong answer to any of this. Because if you go, I've got somebody who had this experience and this is what happened to them, and I believe them, with a little bit of searching, you can find somebody who had an exact opposite experience that is completely counter to the first one you found, and they're both believable.
That's like looking at Google reviews of a restaurant or a bar.
Yes.
You know, you've got somebody that had the time of their life and someone who was.
This guy said it was the worst gin and tonic he's ever had.
Yes.
You know? So I don't know. Again, I'm trying to be more. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think what we're dealing with in the dark corner area. That's not monkeys. That's not apes. That's not monkeys. That's not apes. I don't know what the hell it is. Then you have other people that witness just animal behavior. It's feeding. It's doing this. You know what I'm saying? My point is that maybe it's an animal, but it's an animal that ain't from here all the time. Okay. Maybe both things can be right. Maybe you will be dealing with something that behaves in an animalistic fashion, leaves scat, impacts the environment, feeds, breeds, hunts, does all of that stuff. But maybe it's just not here all the time. Interdimensional and flesh and blood are not necessarily exclusive to one another. But then there are other people that are like going, we think this is where they're setting nests up and everything like that. Maybe you're dealing with something completely different. You know, our friend Tracker, I don't know if he's on here. He's had nothing but positive experiences with the creatures that are in his area.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, but that's not the case here.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if that was here.
Yeah.
If we could be the non-weird Bigfoot researching couple, you know what I'm saying? We're going to leave some peanut butter out for it. Look at the stack of rocks it made for us. I left a marble and I got a feather. That is a lot better. That is a lot better than me standing there going, I'm about to start shooting into these treetops right now. You know what I'm saying? So that would be more pleasant. I would enjoy it more, and we would probably not rub people the wrong way like we do. So
Arcade Discoveries 423 says, we are planning on investigating the LBL ourselves. What is some advice on safety and tips to use in that area? So
don't go in the summertime.
Don't go in the summertime. Bring tick repellent even in the winter. It's a very, very tick rich environment. Make sure you do some pre-planning when you go. Kind of know there's one main road that goes up and down the peninsula. So you're going to kind of go up and down that road. Watch the roads because there's little side roads and stuff like that. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, go easy on the roads because some of them you're not going to get back out of if you go down. Some of them are closed down and some of them are just so rough you can't traverse them in a non-4-wheel drive vehicle. So do that. Kind of pre-plan where you're going to go. And, you know, there's a dangerous human element there because there's not a lot of people there's not a lot of rangers that patrol the area. So there's a dangerous human element. So be aware of that. Keep your head on a swivel at all times when you go up there. You are probably not going to have cell signal when you're there. So kind of pre-plan for that. Be prepared for that. And, you know, just check out the history of the area before you go too. I think that's very informative of what you do when it comes to your expedition of the LBO.
Be prepared. You're going to look at it on a map and you're going to go, oh, it's not even a national forest. It's a national recreation area. And look at that. It's just a big peninsula and there's stuff all around it. You're going to be shocked when you get in there at like how wild and how just left to rot the whole place is.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a lot of like trail maintenance. The forest cover gets thicker every year. But yeah, I'll reach out to you like one-on-one and kind of give you some stuff. So
drive slowly on the trace
yes.
At night. There is an insane amount of wildlife that is on the trace at night. And I have seen many people wreck and kill deer and mess their vehicles up and get badly injured. Going too fast down the trace.
Wants to know, have you ever come across what you think is Bigfoot or Dogman scat? we have ran across, and when I say run across, that's literally in Jesse's case, because if there's a scat pile out there, Jesse's going to step.
I'm gonna step in it.
We were in one area one night. If you watch our videos, the night we like left her as bait, and we caught those disembodied eyes over her
When the
shoulder.
hunter becomes the hunted.
We heard something in this like thicket. We go into the thicket. There's like a way to get into the thicket. We come back out just within a couple of minutes. Something has left a giant scat pile in that time that we were gone, and Jesse stepped in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't smell it until we were up on it. And by the time we smelled it, she was already in it. Then it's all over her boot. We go, there's another one. We ran into 3 scat piles on this narrow trail that weren't there minutes before, and Jesse ran into all of them. So yeah, Jesse will run into, if it's not a needle in a haystack, it's if she will find a scat pile.
It's a poop on a boot.
Yeah. And then there was another one that I wanted to.
Marcus Aurelius has one up here, $9.99. Thank you, Marcus Aurelius.
Damn, Marcus, write us off in your taxes, buddy.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So.
In my
honest, I'm thinking that's what it mean. My honest opinion is what it's going to be.
Okay.
And my own, I don't know.
My own
opinion is what it is. In my opinion.
In my opinion, anyway.
The Dogman are physical beings in our dimension that are from a different dimension, and physical beings as well, where they're from. Yeah, I mean, these things mark the environment. These things, I'm not even going to say supposedly, these things kill people. Okay.
Yeah.
But yet in other ways, they behave and show up in places that you don't expect physical creatures to be at. But they mark the environment. They leave scat, they feed, they do all of this stuff. It's just that we just can't they're just not here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
A regular animal like that, maybe you'd find a dead one after a forest fire, or a forest fire would drive them out. It's not a regular animal.
Yeah.
So I think you were exactly right on that.
Matt J says, what's the second Dark Corners video called? Can't find it. So on YouTube, on our page, it's actually, the title of it is Footprints Found, is the first words in the title, but it's Dark Corner, new roads to old roads to new discoveries. I can't even remember my own titles here.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I'm getting tired. It says Footprints Found in the title, but it's Old Roads to New Discoveries, Dark Corner. And then I don't know what I'm titling the one that's coming out Wednesday, but it'll be the 3rd in the Dark Corner series, because it's all from the same area, the Dark Corner of the upstate of South Carolina. That's why it's the Dark Corner series, because it's all from the same kind of area.
All right, guys, if anybody's got anything, lay it on us now.
We're doing last call.
Speak now. Last call.
And I just want to say again, thank you guys for helping us get to 10,000
Sheila,
subscribers.
thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah Stewart.
Yeah, Deborah Stewart, thank you so
guys.
much. We really appreciate it. This goes towards, like, again, I work for like a living. So we pay for a lot of this stuff, but the help that you guys give us allows us to maybe do some stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to do, or we do it faster than we normally do.
Yeah, we're able to kind of get those equipment goals done a lot quicker because of this, because we have a Amazon wish list a mile long. And this just helps us kind of get closer to those goals, but thank you guys for the shares too. Everybody that was on Facebook the other day that really shared and really drove that home, that we got to that 10,000 mark. That was such a
thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Grace. Yes,
Grace always hits us right towards the end. So.
But that was such a milestone. That is such a accomplishment for me. I am so thankful, and I could not do this without you guys. You guys really motivate me to keep going when it comes to this.
And that's
stuff.
true, because it's weird, because especially on, and again, thank you, Grace. You see people on like that. I don't really do Facebook that much. Jessie doesn't do it probably as much as she should to share stuff in it. But we see these people that are like associated with the topic, and they like hate everybody that like follows their stuff. You know what I'm saying? You guys are such idiots because you think this. And I'm going, God, you hate everything about the subject, and you hate the people involved in the subject. We're the exact opposite. This is like fun as hell. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's scary, it's fun. We wouldn't do it. We don't have any illusions that we're going to solve anything. Okay. Our idea is to maybe make it real for some people that it normally wouldn't be real for. be awesome to solve.
There will be times where is it on this
But-
video? There's one where something happens and I go, did you get it on camera?
But the whole idea is to try to bring people along that are interested in this stuff that can't do it for themselves, and to also advance it beyond the level of just campfire stories.
Yeah.
There's people that have their own personal encounters and share them. That's very important. Okay. But at the same token, it's sometimes somebody's got to be willing to get out there and prove that what this person shared with you is really going on. Okay. And that's what we're doing. That's how we can kind of contribute to this a little bit. So, but we enjoy loving it. We enjoy talking to people about it. And that's why we answer every comment that's on our YouTube channel, man.
That's why we love doing the show too on Mondays.
We enjoy interacting with like-minded people, even if they don't agree with everything that we say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love it. It's been
Kim
great.
Drescher, I love this. We give you money to feed our own curiosity.
Freaking going to the damn Tombstone friggin' fund the way it's going right now, man. So
oh my goodness. Lady Wolf.
Thank you, Lady Wolf.
That,
Lady Wolf, thank you so much.
Really, thank you.
Yeah, and what's weird is that we've had this channel for 2-3 years now, something like that.
Yeah.
And we really only started doing stuff crazy with it like a little less than a year ago. Because I always tell people that if we were just going into a studio and talking to people, that's a different animal than what we're doing. Before we go out, we've got to determine where we're going to, research it, get a baseline idea of it, scout it, preferably in the daytime before we go out. Then we have to figure out what equipment we're going to take out of everything we have, because we can't carry it all. Figure out what equipment we're going to take, get that equipment ready, go out, do all of this, and then we've got to come back, and every hour we're out there, on average, we've got about 2 hours of footage or audio or anything like that to review. So even if we're just out there for like 16 hours, it's 32 hours of stuff we've got to review afterwards. And then we've got to clean the equipment, charge the equipment, do all of this. It's very, very time consuming. So for the longest time, we couldn't really get much done with the channel. Well, now Jesse's gotten better at the video editing portion of it. It doesn't take that long. We're able to churn more stuff out. So
yeah, I had to teach myself how to edit video too. That was another, sticking point, is like, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. There's no manual out there. There's no guidebook for how to go about this. We had to kind of develop everything as we went along.
But now that we've hit our stride, you're going to see more stuff. Ghetto Yeti. $10. Here's the 10K. Love you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ghetto. We appreciate it.
Ghetto no more.
Ghetto no, you are Ghetto no more. You are luxury Yeti now.
Luxury Yeti.
All right, guys. Last call. If anybody's got anything, lay it on us now.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. We're going to give you a last call here. And
Marcus, you do more than enough. You do more than enough, my friend. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Very much appreciate it. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we're done. Guys,
all right. I'm going to throw the music up.
10,000, and then here's to the next 10,000.
10,000 more, kids. We got this. Getty Lux. Yes. Oh, all right. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys. You guys are so cool. Let's get 10,000 more.
Let's get 10,000 more.
Let's do it. You guys keep an eye on your notifications. Wednesday, I'm aiming for noon, 12:30. Let's look at that for the new video to drop Wednesday. The follow-up to last week's video, the night investigation. Keep your eyes out Wednesday around 12:30. It will be hitting your computers, phones, tablets, etc. Make sure you keep an eye out and comment, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you let us know what you think about it. You guys are really going to love it. And we're going to go eat dinner. So thank you guys. Thank you for everybody that contributed tonight. You guys are
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So, you guys are the best. And let's play some music and get going. Get some rest, guys. Have a badass week.
Later, Gators.